I'm at the Mexican Open PGA Tour event at Vidante Golf Course in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. Beautiful day. We're doing a two-part series on what it takes to keep a golfer on the course while maximizing their performance on and off the course. In today's segment, we talk with physiotherapist for the tour, Mike Bhatt, speaker, author, inventor, entrepreneur, and game changer. Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show. Coming up! Our guest was born in Manchester, England, grew up in Montreal and Calgary, now calls Austin, Texas home. He's a chiropractor and physiotherapist, University of Texas sports medicine team member, works with PGA Tour players, works with Champion Tour players. He founded Pinnacle Sports Performance and Rehabilitation. He is a public speaker and an author. He is known as Batman, Dr. Mike Bhatt. Okay, Mike, tell us about being born in Manchester, England, growing up in Montreal and Calgary.
Yeah, so I was born in Manchester, grew up in Montreal, and then Calgary most of my life. And it's definitely a kind of a broadening of your horizons when you move from one country to another country, and then to the United States after that. So lived in three countries and basically enjoyed all of it. Experience for all the countries.
I understand you got a chance to take in some action from the 1976 Olympics. Tell us about that.
Sure did, man. That was my mom brings it up again and again. She said, we saw the Olympics in '76, and we watched the tennis and the Olympics with especially with the gymnastics when we saw the perfect 10 from Nadia Comaneci. That was something spectacular. Back then, we didn't know how much of a spectacular athletic feat it was, but to realize now, wow, back then that was pretty something else.
Yeah, I remember that incredible performance by Comaneci. What a special athlete she was. They moved to Calgary, but you're still a Habs fan.
Don't you know, for sure. Well, I still like to play. You got to cheer the Flames on a little bit too, since you live in the city.
What are your best memories of Calgary?
The whole experience. I mean, Calgary it's a great city. It's very Western, and they're just the mentality of the people. It's very open. People are very caring. They're compassionate. They're like Texans, right? I consider Alberta like Texas. Very similar with their mentality about how they treat people. And it was a great experience in Calgary. Going to high school, junior high school there, and then moving away for undergrad, and then moving down to the States for grad school.
So undergrad, did you know therapist?
I did. I played some soccer growing up, and one of our team doctors was a chiropractor, and I used to go see him all the time. It was the only thing that really helped physically change how I felt, versus taking a pill to kind of mask some of the symptoms. And sometimes you have to do that as well. But I just like the way the physical component of it, how they helped symptoms from the cause of the problem to the solution for the problem, and then preventing the problem from happening again, which is really important by giving you specific exercises to do. So that's kind of what it entailed.
So you decided to go to graduate school in the U.S. What school and why?
I went to Texas Chiropractic College in Houston. There's only one chiropractic school in Canada. It's in Toronto, and they had 2-year waiting lists, and I didn't want to wait 2 years, and so I applied to some schools in the States, and I got accepted to the school in Houston. Yeah, but
Clearly good school.
it was a good school, but it was quite an experience getting off the plane, coming from Calgary to Houston, and then just the pollution and this, just totally different. There's no mountains. Yeah, that's right. That's the extent of it.
How did you end up getting connected with pro golfers in the PGA Tour?
So Rich Beam was a 2002 champion, PGA champion, and I've worked with Rich for years and years in Austin. And he said, the stuff you do and I play golf. So we played golf sometimes, and he said, what you do is really helpful. And so I'd like to introduce you to the guys on the PGA Tour and see if we can get you involved with taking care of some of the other players. And so I said, sure, let's give it a shot, see what happens, because I enjoyed the sport of golf, and I understood kind of the mechanics of golf. And so it was sort of a natural fit in understanding. Since I played golf, I understood what golf, swing faults were, and just kind of expanding it from there, and trying to see more and more golfers is how you learn more about golf injuries and golf injury prevention. The more you work on players, you see consistencies and similarities and injuries that happen. So, it's that Rich was sort of my big spark for getting me involved with the PGA Tour. And that's what almost my connection to you.
So, what does the day look like for you when you're working with these guys on tour?
I'll start with one word. It's a long day. So I get here 2 hours before the first tee time. So first tee time is at 7:30. I was here at 5:30 this morning because the guys like to eat breakfast. They get warmed up and they come see us to get, whatever physical therapy, chiropractic treatment that they need, and then they'll go practice. So it's a long day, and I end up leaving at 6. So it's over a 12-hour day. But there's times in the day like now there's a gap where I can walk around the golf course and watch some golf or watch some guys on the range. So it's a great day. I love it. I love to interact with the players and some of the caddies, and it's always a good experience.
Okay, like you're friends with a lot of Canadians. Mac Hughes is one of them. I was watching Mac play today. He almost hit me with his tee shot in the par 3 ninth. It was a rough day. Aside from that, though, Canadians are doing well. Stephen Ames just won a Champions
Sure did.
Tour event. Nick Taylor took the Phoenix Open. He won the Canadian Open. Why are Canadians excelling?
That's a really good question. I don't know if it's a lot. A lot of the Canadians might go to the universities in the United States and learn from some. A lot of the guys that are here from Canada also went to school in the United States at universities that have top-ranked programs where they can really learn a lot about the structure of golf and take that back to Canada. And it's incredible the number of Canadian golfers now than when I first started on the PGA Tour 12 years ago. How many more Canadians are out here, and I love it. I love to converse with them, and in our native talk, eh? Sorry you didn't play great today, but yeah, for sure.
Your invention, the Swingback. There's lots of testimonials on your website.
Yeah, it's a foam roller that I invented. Kind of designed it into how I envision my hands on a patient. The way it's designed with the bone zone in the middle, and the protrusions that help to work on trigger points. So when you go see a massage therapist and they work on your neck, on those trigger points in your neck, they compress it. That helps to bring blood flow into the tissues. So I designed it in that way to where it helps you with your posture. Postures are number one demon in life, and causing neck pain, headaches, back pain. And so kind of designed it in a way that people can utilize it at home for self-therapy, to help treat musculoskeletal conditions, headaches, that kind of thing.
And I noticed Sir Nick Faldo is a fan, and he endorsed it too.
Yeah. Sir Nick Faldo is one of our investors and brand ambassadors, and so yeah, he loves the use of it, and it's used by it's used in the tour trailers as well. So it's got some good traction with golf and with sports in general.
So it's not just golfers you deal with. We see testimonials on your website from all kinds of people, including a former Blue Jay.
How you doing? I'm Kevin Millar. I played 12 years of Major League Baseball, 8 years in the minor leagues, 20 total professional baseball, and I'm excited for this webinar. Prosper for Posture. My friend Dr. Mike Bhatt will teach us and have some fun with us, because right now we are doing the same thing and we're all bent over looking at these devices in some bad posture forms, not knowing how to really do it, not knowing that our chin should be tucked, and not knowing that our shoulders need to be back. So we'll learn some stuff. We're going to laugh.
Yes, Kevin and I are really good friends. I've gotten to know him over the years, and also a fantastic golfer. He finished top 15 in they have the Pro-Am, it's in Florida. So it's where they play with the LPGA. So he finished, I think, 10th or 15th this year, and he's really a good stick, really good player.
Yeah, a good guy.
And a great guy. Well, one of the funniest, most entertaining. People always ask me, "Hey, Doc, you've met a lot of famous people, and who's the funniest athlete that you know?" And I, without a second thought, I go, Kevin Millar.
So tell us about the Pinnacle Sports Performance and Rehabilitation Clinic.
So I started Pinnacle Sports Performance in 2007. I've been in practice since 1993, and I was initially in a multidisciplinary practice where I saw lots of different general injuries from general population, back pain, neck pain. I found that my work was helpful, but people weren't as compliant with what they needed to do on their own. So I sort of started to pivot to think, well, who's going to do what I want them to do? Because I want my outcomes to be good for my patients. And so I figured, athletes, if I tell an athlete what to do, they're most likely going to do it because it's going to help their athletic performance. And so I sort of pivoted into a sports practice in 2007 and opened up Pinnacle Sports Performance and Rehabilitation. And it was nice because we were in gyms. So we were in two very large gyms in Austin, Wild Basin Fitness. And so we had access to lots of different athletes. And that's, for me, it was more fulfilling to see results that way. And not like I didn't enjoy it at my last practice, but it just seems like there was more with the compliance. There became more improvements that I noticed in people.
Is there a difference between the way an athlete approaches rehabilitation versus, say, the general public? I mean, I know people that are given exercises to do at home, but they don't tend to do them well. The athletes probably pay more attention.
They do, but I think everybody listens to your advice. It's just a matter of their being compliant and doing it and seeing the difference. But with sport, it's different. So you might address a golfer with a different rehab program than you might a baseball player or a pitcher or an infielder, or even if it's an offensive lineman or a cornerback in football. Every position, every sport has its requirements for your physical requirements and abilities that you need to make yourself a better athlete at that specific position or that specific sport. So you know, it- I think that their compliance is always a nice thing to see. And then you give them the appropriate progressions to see, are you getting stronger? Are you getting more mobile? Are you getting more results from, either you're hitting your 7 iron, what's your swing, what's your swing speed? What's your ball speed? All those things kind of come into account whenever you test a person initially with a sports program, and give them the program to do, and they should see results in their athletic performance if they're compliant with doing everything.
What are some of the most miraculous recoveries that you've seen?
A couple times out here, players that walk into me, these guys, it's not necessarily golf that bothers them. It's all the travel. It's flying. It's sleeping on a different mattress. It's using a different pillow. It's, all these things that, I've seen players wake up in the morning and they can't turn their head to the right, and so they come in, we get worked on them. It takes a couple of sessions, but a couple of days, but usually you can see that they're improving. So there's been some good success stories out here with players that came into me that couldn't move, that end up finishing top five. And, it's always nice to see when, yeah. So, it's nice to see whenever they do those kinds of things, and you see the results and they see the results and they come in and they are appreciative too.
Yeah, thank you. You owe me a dinner. Yeah,
Right.
thank you. I won the tournament. I couldn't walk, and I won the tournament, so I think
Yeah.
you owe me a dinner. Okay, so your mind, body, and spirit growth extends well beyond sports. We have this testimony from the 7 Minute Huddle. Rich Laplace, president of NMB Technologies. Here's what Rich had to say.
There's no doubt in my mind that these programs have helped with employee productivity and well-being. We have now implemented the 7-Minute Huddle. These short videos are concise and to the point and help us practice proper posture and set our mind right for the week. Our employees at NMB love the Batman, and I approve of this message.
How much of your work is online?
So it used to, during COVID, it was a lot more. So a lot of the programs that I founded with Prosper with Posture on postural stuff was during COVID, because everybody was at home on their computers or on their iPads or their phones, and they weren't as active. And so I started doing these programs, the 7-Minute Huddle, during the pandemic, just to help people, uh, help with their health and overall fitness in a small period of time. And I found that uh, you know, quality of time is important. If you give somebody 7 minutes of a program to do, they're more likely to do it than if you give them an hour to do every day. And so that's the purpose behind this. The 7-minute huddle is to do the 2 minutes of mindfulness and breathing, 4 minutes of a posture exercise, and then a minute of a dandy deed or a good deed, just to kind of help you emotionally as well as physically.
Okay, let's talk about your book, Kenzie Sits Up Tall. It's a children's book to teach young readers good posture, breathing techniques, and meditation to help alleviate their suffering from back pain, neck pain, headaches, and anxiety. What was your impetus in writing this book?
Also around the pandemic, to be honest with you, I was seeing more kids during in my practice during the pandemic with bad headaches, bad neck pain, anxiety, and I thought this is really weird. Something's not normal here. I wasn't part of my normal practice. I sort of attributed to the same thing: kids being on their computers all day, being indoors all day, not making eye contact, but not having social interaction with other kids and other adults. So that was sort of the impetus of writing the book, was to help improve kids' quality of life, because I was seeing that they were suffering as well as adults were, particularly during the pandemic and subsequent to it. So those habits don't change. Kids are now, or used to be, on their iPads or their phones or computers, and so getting them out of that, transitioning them into more of an active lifestyle was important.
Yeah, and then you're teaching them, right?
Yeah,
The meditation, helping them to get centered. It's all connected, isn't it? Physical, emotional, spiritual. It's all connected.
it's all connected. They're all, you can change your emotional health by changing your breathing. By breathing differently, you feel better. When you sit up taller and, you close your eyes and you meditate, have some mindful meditation, nice deep breaths, belly breaths. When you open your eyes, you feel different, right? And just I propose everybody do that. Close your eyes, tuck your chin back, take 5 deep belly breaths, be mindful of kind of things around you, and then open your eyes and things will be brighter. Things will be different. They'll feel different. So it's kind of how you change your emotional state through a physical state and vice versa. When you sit up taller, you feel better, right? And so even you see that in sport, when you see with somebody with their head hanging down, you know that you got them the advantage on them. So there's also that emotional, physical from a standpoint of, oh, I see what's going on here. I feel like, they just bogeyed that hole. I'm one stroke back. I see they're hanging their head. It's time to take advantage and pounce.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a posture that affects all aspects of your life. How much of a difference can you make and how fast can you turn someone's life around, basically? Teaching them proper mindfulness, breathing, posture?
It's a good question. I think it takes 21 days to change habits, right? So if you do something and are consistent with it for 3 weeks or so, you're definitely going to notice a difference. I think it's an immediate change too. I've read my book to kids in schools and I have them do the exercise of the mindfulness, just close your eyes, deep belly breaths, be mindful, open your eyes. And they all say, I always ask them, how do you feel? They always go, better. I feel better. And so it's an immediate change, but you have to get that habit in people to say, all right, if you are excited or scared about taking a test, right? You can go through that mindfulness and the breathing and the meditation part of it for 5 to 7 minutes, and it puts you in the right frame of mind and the right zone to feel like, all right, I can execute this better.
Probably should be part of the curriculum.
Well, that's a good thing you mentioned that. We were trying to get it in as part of supplemental curriculum for schools, 7 minutes a day. It's like, you used to sing the national anthem before you started class, right? It's the same thing. It's you have your program for the week. So we are actually trying to get it in curriculum because kids need simple, right? Adults need simple. We need something that, it's not complicated, right? You're more likely to be compliant with it if it's simple. Small chunks.
Okay, so here's a question I like to ask all my guests. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Yeah, as in regards to what? The best life?
Life, work, whatever you want.
I think that comes from my parents. I think the best advice I ever got from my parents is never quit, never give up. They were immigrants and so they have the story. Their story is an incredible story. So I use that as my sort of energy and motivation to continue to do better. So it's never give up. It's never, it's never over. And I had to reinvent my career many times. I think we all have to know that has to happen sometimes. You have to reinvent yourself in some ways to go from a chiropractor to writing a book and having an invention. You have to, I think it makes you a better member of society too, when you can show that I can do other things too. So I think that was probably the best advice is don't ever quit.
Okay, so now I have to ask a little bit about your parents' story. Fascinating. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, so they immigrated from India to England in the 60s. Before immigration was a huge thing, and they moved to England, and my mom always just say, "When in Rome," taking the culture of the country you're in, and which was really, really interesting to see. Then they moved to Canada. Mom was a nurse, dad was an engineer, and moved to Canada for greener pastures, and to Montreal, and then to Calgary. My dad recently passed away, unfortunately, and so we miss him dearly. But hey, you're going to learn a lot of lessons.
Thank you for doing this, Mike. Continued success with the clinic, the book.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is a great experience, and I hope you enjoyed the golf tournament and some good golf out there, some high scores. I think they're saying that the course isn't as fast as it was last year because it was 2 months later. So I think it was a little bit more dried out. So the fairways are a little bit more moist and they're not getting as much rolls or have longer shots in. And so it's attributed to the scores that you're seeing on the leaderboard. Last year, this time of year, I was really sweating. And being from Texas, it's still hot, but it's perfect now right now. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Discover the secret to timeless vitality at Renew Medical Center in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Our specialists unravel the science of aging, tailoring plans to defy its effects. Experience cutting-edge regenerative therapies such as stem cells and exosomes, addressing aging at its core.
It's a wonderful spot, and I highly recommend it for whatever you may need, whether you just want to feel better, you want to look better, have basically a quality of life, just to ramp it up a little bit as we age.
Liberate yourself from aging-related concerns. where accountability, technology, and passion for regenerative medicine converge. Begin your path to peak health and wellness with us. Schedule your appointment today at renewpv.com and elevate your quality of life.
Rely on Walton Restoration's 40-plus years of excellence in residential and commercial restoration. Their strong reputation is built on workmanship, professionalism, and outstanding customer service. Trust Walton as your dependable partner in emergencies, serving Durham, Kawartha, and Northumberland regions. Call 905-725-5666 or visit waltonrestoration.com. Experience top-tier workmanship and service. Walton Restoration, the trusted name in property restoration. Join satisfied customers like me.
Addiction Rehab Toronto, Toronto's #1 alcohol and drug treatment center, saving lives, reuniting families. The only treatment center in the province to offer medical detox, treatment, sober living, and lifetime aftercare all in one place. Our unique and specialized programs are designed to equip our clients with the tools to successfully lead a life of dignity, respect, and purpose. Let us help save your life or your loved one's life. Call today for more information or to facilitate an intervention. 1-855-787-2424 or visit addictionrehabtoronto.ca.
When you're injured in an accident, you may be entitled to multiple benefits. Entitlement to these benefits are based on your insurance policy. On a basic policy, you will have eligibility for income replacement benefit, non-earner benefit, attendant care, and medical rehabilitation benefits. It is very important to have a detailed discussion with your insurance broker or agent when obtaining a new policy or renewing your existing policy. Call us now for a comprehensive review of your claim and your policy limits. You do not pay us until we settle your case.
Call Nathan today at 416-289-1236 or visit alliedlegal.ca. And we want to thank all the folks who make this show possible. These are friends, trusted business associates, and all-around great people. We highly recommend them all. Thank you for your support of Canadian and local sports. A reminder that the show is available on iTunes, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public, Google Podcast, and Pocket Cast, as well as the Spanglish Network, Buzz TV Live, and Zingo TV. Also, check out the show on YouTube. All the past great shows are on there. Clips, shorts. Like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Thanks once again to Mike Bhatt for being on the program. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Brian Gribben Insurance Planning, helping you solidify your financial future.
At BGIP, what we do that's unique in the marketplace is we show people how to spend and enjoy their money in the early years of retirement without the fear of running out. Also, we're able to do this without you having to change financial advisors. Please look us up at bgip.ca today. Let's book a 30-minute phone call to see how we can bring value to you and your family in your planning.
Call Brian today for all your retirement needs. We did. 905-686-5678. MNP, a leading Canadian national accounting, tax, and business accounting firm. MNP proudly serves and responds to the need of their clients in the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. Through partner-led engagements, MNP provides a collaborative, cost-effective approach to do business and personal strategies to help people and organizations to succeed across the country and around the world. With local offices in Oshawa, Mississauga, Burlington, and more, their team is here to support you. Visit mnp.ca today to learn more. Rooted in 60 years of tradition, Sleepy Hollow is a private golf club with a friendly community of members just minutes from Toronto. With mature trees and rolling fairways, Sleepy Hollow provides a challenging and enjoyable experience for passionate golfers. Enjoy great golf, amazing dining, and a picturesque patio second to none. Visit SleepyHollowCountryClub.com. Hi there, I'm Joe Tilley. Are you ready for an adventure of a lifetime? Next March, during the enchanting cherry blossom season, join me and my wife for an unforgettable 2-week journey to Japan and South Korea. In Japan, you'll experience the magic of the season as we visit the stunning Osaka Castle against the backdrop of cherry blossoms. Feed the adorable Sika deer at Nara Park, glide through picturesque landscapes on the famed bullet train, cruise on Lake Kawaguchi, and witness the awe-inspiring view of Mount Fuji. Relax in natural hot springs and savor a delightful Fuji dinner banquet while dressing in traditional robes. And of course, we'll dive into Tokyo's cutting-edge technology scene. In Korea, dress in elegant hanbok attire and step back in time at Cheongdokgung Palace. Wander through Andong Village, a true glimpse into Korea's rich heritage. Delight your taste buds with the flavors of Korean barbecue. We'll even visit the DMZ area to get a glimpse of mysterious North Korea. And guess what? This incredible journey is all yours for just $54.99, all-inclusive, with direct flights from Vancouver, or $58.99 from Toronto. Book now to unlock up to an extra $1,700 in upgrades and savings. Let's make some memories. Let's explore. Let's travel. Guests on Joe Tilley Sports receive a gift certificate from Classica Imports. Top of the line imported men's clothing. Check out the Classica Essential Collection now. Go to shopclassica.com.